Tag TV brings you daily news bulletin from India. Breaking news and views from India.
Good evening, welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Lipakshi Khurana. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Monday, the 11th of February. Energy demand expected to be more than double by 2040, says Indian Prime Minister. India launches search operations after suspicious movement near Kashmir Army camp. An Afghan President Ghani offers Taliban to set up office in Kabul. And now for all the details. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while inaugurating an international oil and gas conference in India's Greater Noida city on Monday, said that energy demand is expected to be more than double by the year 2040. He also stressed on the need to move to responsible pricing, keeping in mind the interest of both the producer and the consumer. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Monday said that India is an attractive market for energy companies, with demand expected to more than double by the year 2040. Prime Minister Modi made the remarks while addressing the former inaugural event of India's flagship energy event, Petrotech, in northern Greater Noida city. He also stressed on the need to move to responsible pricing with keeping in mind the interests of both the producer and the consumer. He said another key issue that needs the world to come together is climate change.
We are also the third largest energy consumer in the world, with demand growing at more than 5% annually. India remains an attractive market for energy companies, with energy demand expected to more than double by 2040. The three-day event showcases the recent market and investor-friendly developments that have taken place in the country's oil and gas sector. The theme of the international conference is shaping the new energy world through innovation and collaboration. Over 90 energy ministers from partner countries are participating in the event. Massive search operations were launched by security forces after suspicious movement was spotted by guards on Monday near an Indian Army camp in Uri sector of India's Jammu and Kashmir province. In September 2016, at least 19 Indian soldiers were killed after a deadly terror attack at the Army headquarters in Uri. India blames Pakistan for being involved in the attack.
Search operations were launched by security forces after guards spotted suspicious movement near an Indian Army camp in Uri in India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province on Monday. The Army's artillery unit was cordoned off and a joint search was conducted by both Jammu and Kashmir police and the armed forces. 2 people had been detained and were being interrogated, local media reports said.
I can't say anything exactly.
So when was the first shot exchanged around?
Firing goes, you can't exactly. We will tell you after the closing of the operation only.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you.
In September 2016, at least 19 Indian soldiers were killed in a deadly terror attack on the army headquarters in Uri. India put the blame on neighbouring Pakistan for the attack, but Islamabad denied any role. This further ratcheted up tension between the nuclear-armed arch rivals. India has long accused Pakistan of training and arming terrorists and helping them infiltrate across the border to spread unrest in Kashmir Valley.
In news from Pakistan, a 5-day multinational maritime exercise in which 46 nations are taking part is underway in Pakistan's coastal city of Karachi. The exercise, conducted after every 2 years, aims to train naval forces to combat terrorism and piracy.
5-day multinational maritime exercise Aman 2019, in which 46 nations are taking part, is underway on the island of Manora in Pakistan's Karachi city. The exercise, named Aman, meaning peace in Urdu, aims to train naval forces and to understand each nation's maritime concepts and operational cultures. The Pakistan Navy's ships, submarines, boats and special forces are all taking part in the exercise along with the Pakistan Air Force, Pakistani Army and the Pakistani Rangers.
हम सब मिलकर इस एक्सरसाइज में हम दुनिया को ये पैगाम देना चाहते हैं कि जो कॉमन थ्रेट्स हैं समुंदर में जो कि सबको कंसर्न करते हैं उस सब के उन तमाम थ्रेट्स के अगेंस्ट हम लोग इकट्ठे हैं.
The event is a series of biennial naval exercises conducted by the Pakistan Navy since 2007 to enhance military ties among the other regions. The exercise is organized after every 2 years.
In news from Afghanistan, Afghan President Ashraf Ghani has offered the Taliban the possibility of opening an office in Afghanistan. The announcement comes after Taliban leaders stressed the importance of a formal office among a string of demands during talks with Afghan opposition politicians in Moscow last week.
Afghan President Ashraf Ghani on Sunday offered the Taliban the possibility of opening an office in Afghanistan, but the proposal was swiftly spurned by the group that is determined to keep his government out of accelerating peace talks. Ghani has expressed alarm at the Taliban shutting his administration out of negotiations with the United States as well as recent Moscow talks with Afghan opposition politicians. The president also repeated earlier offers to give the group a secure official address to aid any future diplomacy between the two sides. He made the announcement while visiting the Afghan province of Nangarhar, a hotbed of insurgent violence on the border with Pakistan.
Taliban wali daftar po Kabul ke sabai warko. Peningrar ke warko. Kandar ke warko. Kad muk de duya amniyat unne sat.
This comes after Taliban officials in Moscow last week stressed the importance of a formal office among a string of demands that included the removal of Western sanctions and travel bans on Taliban members, prisoner releases and an end to propaganda against the group.
More news from Afghanistan. Recent figures by Afghanistan Women's Chamber of Commerce and Industries show that around 1,150 women entrepreneurs have invested in different businesses over the past 18 years. The data shows that these investments have provided jobs for 77,000 individuals across the country. Around 1,150 women entrepreneurs have invested in different businesses in Afghanistan over the past 18 years, new figures by Afghanistan Women's Chamber of Commerce and Industry or AWCCI show. The figures show that investment by women reached more than $77 million and have provided jobs for 77,000 individuals across the country. According to the statistics, 300 women entrepreneurs have started their businesses in the year 2018 alone.
در 30 سال تفاوت زیاد دیده شده که قبلا ما در دیتابیس خود 6.5 خانم تجارت پیشرفته داشتیم و در سال بعدیش 8.5 و فعلا به 1150 خانم رسیده.
The statistics show that from the overall investments by women, 50% of them are in Afghan capital Kabul. Meanwhile, Ghor, Paktia, Lagman and Uruzgan are among provinces with the lowest level of investments by women. Scores of automobile enthusiasts gather to witness the beauties of a bygone era during vintage car exhibitions and rallies organized on Sunday in India's Mumbai and New Delhi cities. The events displayed various vintage, classic, modified and modern cars and bikes.
A vintage car and bike exhibition park supercar show was organized on Sunday in India's showbiz capital Mumbai, in which scores of automobile enthusiasts gathered to witness the beauties of the bygone era. More than 400 vintage cars and bikes were displayed in the exhibition for the visitors. A rally was also organized during the show as part of the Road Safety Week celebrations by the provincial government, in which the message of safe driving was given to the visitors.
So it's a big auto show. For the first time in the world, I think we've done a supercar, superbike, vintage car, vintage bike show together. So it's, I've been speaking to people around the world and nobody's ever seen a show like this. So it's a great show and we're happy to be here.
A similar event, the Statesman Vintage and Classic Car Rally 2019 was organized in India's national capital New Delhi. More than 130 vintage cars including Citroën, Willys, Sunbeam Talbot and Buick among many others rolled out on the busy roads of the city during the event.
An annual buffalo race was organized on Sunday in India's southern Mangalore city to mark the culmination of the harvest season in the region. Around 125 pairs of buffaloes competed in the slush track race.
An annual buffalo race, Kambala, was organized on Sunday in Mangalore city of India's southern Karnataka province to mark the end of the harvest season in the region. People from across the country and abroad thronged the city to witness around 125 pairs of buffaloes competing in the slush track race. Around 18 Kambalas are held in one season, which starts after the harvest in November and ends in April in different villages.
This is one of the most beautiful events I've ever seen. It is the connection between the human being and the animal, and the connection between all of those people together. And this is a celebration of life, celebration of being, celebration of the very huge spirit here.
Kambala is a popular sport among rural masses and generally takes place in the wet rice fields. The winning pair of buffaloes is rewarded with a cash prize, but traditionally it is a non-competitive sport in which the buffaloes run in the field one by one.
A special ceremony was organized recently during the ongoing Kumbh Fair in India's northern Prayagraj city to confer 9 foreign nationals with the title of Mahamandaleshwar, the highest title of monkhood in Hinduism. Hindu seers said the newly ordained monks would help in further promoting Sanatan Dharma or eternal order across the world.
At least 9 foreign nationals were conferred with the title of Mahamandaleshwar, the highest title of Hindu monkhood, during the ongoing world's largest religious gathering, the Kumbh Fair in India's Prayagraj city. A special ceremony was organized to confer the title of Hindu monkhood on the seers belonging to US, Japan, France and Israel. A Hindu seer said that these newly ordained foreign nationals would help in further promoting Sanatan Dharma or eternal order across the world.
All I can tell you, we are very, very blessed to have this program today. Very blessed. Only in the Kumbh, only in the India we can find this. So I offer all of you with great love, great blessings to enjoy the Sanatana Dharma in India and in the world.
9 महामंडलेश्वरों का अभिषेक किया है, जो कि अलग-अलग देशों से ये सब लोग आए हुए थे और जो कि भारतीय संस्कृति सभ्यता का प्रचार देश विदेशों में किया जा रहा है.
The Kumbh Fair, which is more than 2000 years old, is a meeting point for Hindu seers, some of whom live in forests or Himalayan caves and come out only during this period. The fair is traditionally held every 3 years in one of 4 cities of Prayagraj, Haridwar, Ujjain and Nasik.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude, the top stories once again. Energy demand expected to be more than double by 2040, says Indian Prime Minister. India launches search operations after suspicious movement near Kashmir Army camp. And Afghan President Ghani offers Taliban to set up office in Kabul. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.